Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really different way of looking at cancer. The source material for this one frames it, well, not as a genetic lottery, but actually as a problem of physics. Yeah, physics.
You know, for the better part of a century, we've been fighting this so-called war on cancer. And yet, for so many people, the outlook can still feel pretty bleak. The source material we're digging into today makes a really bold claim. It's not that we haven't tried hard enough or that we're not smart enough. It's that we might have been looking in the completely wrong place this whole time.
Okay, so before we get into this new idea, we've got to start with what most of us already know. Let's talk about the conventional view of cancer.
Right, this is the somatic mutation theory, or SMT for short. It's what's in pretty much every medical textbook. And the idea is pretty straightforward. Cancer is a disease of our genes. You know, random mistakes when cells copy themselves, or maybe some toxin, or even just plain bad luck. Something messes up our DNA, and that creates these rogue cells that just go wild and multiply out of control.
So if you think the problem is a bad cell, what's the solution? Well, it seems obvious, right? You got to kill that cell. And that exact logic, that's the foundation for almost all of our current treatments. Chemotherapy, radiation, they're all designed to do one thing: hunt down and destroy those specific rogue cells.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting. The source material basically puts two completely different worldviews side by side. On one side, you've got the story we all know. Cancer is about bad genes, so the goal is to kill the bad cells. Simple. But on the other side, a totally new story. It says cancer is just a symptom of a bad environment, and the goal isn't to kill it all, it's to restore.
And that brings us right to this new idea, which the source calls the environmental collapse theory. And look, this isn't just a tiny adjustment. This is a total paradigm shift.
The whole idea here is to completely reframe the question. Instead of putting that mutated cell under a microscope, what if we zoomed out? What if we looked at its neighborhood, its surroundings? Think about it this way. What if the cancer cell isn't the fire itself, but just the smoke that's telling us there's a fire raging somewhere else in the system?
This leads us to something called the terrain theory, and the concept is kind of mind-blowing. It says the condition of your body's internal environment, what they call the terrain, is actually way more important for your health than whether or not a seed of a disease, like a mutated cell, is even there. And they use this great metaphor to explain it. Just picture your body as a garden. Your internal environment, that's the soil, the water, the sun. And cancer cells, they're the weeds. Now think about it. Weeds don't just pop up for no reason. They show up and take over when the garden is neglected, right? When the soil is bad and the good plants are struggling.
So from this point of view, the cancer cell isn't really the bad guy. The real problem is the collapse of the soil. That whole environment our healthy cells need to do their thing. When that system breaks down, order just flips into chaos.
So what exactly is this soil made of? Well, the source breaks it down into a few key things. We're talking about stuff like deep hydration, getting the right minerals and electrolytes, having enough energy for your cells to fix themselves, good oxygen flow, and even something like being in a state of calm so your body's natural repair crews can actually get to work.
And this is where the physics part really clicks into place. The argument is that cancer isn't some random biological mistake, it's a predictable physical event, something called a phase transition. It's just like how water, when it gets cold enough, will always turn to ice. It's a predictable shift. The idea is that when our cellular environment gets bad enough, past a certain tipping point, the whole system just flips from a state of order and health to a state of disorder. And that's what we call cancer.
Okay, so if the problem is a broken environment, the solution is, well, it's actually pretty logical, isn't it? You have to rebuild that environment. It's time to start tending the garden again.
And the source lays out some really practical, physical steps for how to do that. And this isn't about some complicated new drug. It's all about the basics. We're talking about restoring hydration and getting your minerals in balance, keeping oxygen moving with some gentle movement, giving your body good fuel, and this is a big one, just getting the rest you need so your body can actually do its repair work.
Now, the source is super clear about something, and this is really important. This is not about replacing conventional medicine, not at all. The idea is that these steps are meant to support the body, to fix up the terrain so that your body is stronger and more resilient, especially if you're going through standard medical treatments.
And all of this really leads to the key takeaway, the central message here. It's a message of empowerment, and it offers a new kind of hope, one that's grounded in, of all things, physics.
This quote from the source material just nails the whole idea. You know, in a world that's all about complex, high-tech treatments, this perspective says that the real power to create a healing environment might be in the simple, everyday things that literally anyone can do.
So what's the end game? It's all about getting the body's own natural healing systems back online. When you restore the garden, the body's own intelligence kind of takes over again. The source suggests that cells that are only a little damaged can actually repair themselves, and the ones that are too far gone, they get cleared out naturally. It's like you're reawakening your body's amazing ability to keep things in order. Which leaves us with a really powerful and kind of provocative question. For 100 years, we've been searching for answers in the incredibly complex code of our genes. But what if the key is actually way simpler and a lot closer to home? What if it's hidden in the physical environment that you and I create inside our own bodies every single day?